welcome, Miriam. Thank you so much for joining us here at Artisan Rhapsody.
Thank you so much, Larissa, for having me. I'm very honored to be part of the Artisan Rhapsody in Colorado, Vail.
Yes, yes. Well, we wanted to start out, because it is an artisan festival, we wanted to start out thinking about your pigments, because there's a whole craftsmanship side to working with egg tempera, which is your medium. Can you tell us a little bit about, first of all, what is the process and how do you mix your pigments that way?
Yes, the first time I came in contact was when I studied painting at the Hochschule für Grafik and Buchkunst with Arno Rink and Neo Rauch. And you mix it, it's first the whole egg, then the turpentine, and Dama furnace. I don't know the word. It's when the trees are crying, you know, the jelly stuff, the glue.
The blue jelly stuff. I'm going to have to look up what that is in English. Are you able to show us visually what this looks like?
Yes, I show you first all my pigments over there.
Oh, beautiful.
And actually, I mean, if I take a color like this, you see this? Like, this is a pure pigment.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I collect them from all my journeys. I have some of even China, the Netherlands, Germany, America, or the earth. I mean, you can take also pigments from the earth.
Oh,
And
wow.
what you do is actually put the eggs here inside. Should I make
a sample?
Yes?
Okay, you guys want to see a sample? Sure. Yeah.
Okay, you see the egg?
Yeah.
It's like a cooking studio. So I take the egg, I put it all in. You shake it.
Wow, this is
It's
so
very
cool.
important that it's mixed. And then wait.
I wonder how it doesn't get spoiled.
It does. Once it's dried, it doesn't spoil, is what I understand. But we can ask her that question. Yeah.
Then you take the I can make some commercial schminke. The Dama furnace.
Okay.
I will not put it now, but you put it inside.
Okay.
I can put a little, wait.
Yeah, we got to see the whole process.
Yes.
Okay. And what?
I have it inside and you mix it again. And then you take distilled water. So I take my pigments like here.
Okay, so there's the pigment with the brush.
I take a little. And then I mix it. Red is sometimes a little nasty. I don't know why. It's not mixing so
Red
far.
is less soluble, right? That's the thing with all reds, like even with red hair dye and stuff like that.
Red and green, actually.
Red and green.
I also have some white inside already, so don't wonder why it is a little grayish. I mix it with white.
There was already white in the palette. Yeah.
Oh, I'm still working on this, so I can take this, okay?
Okay.
Just to show
I wonder
you.
if I'm going to come around and kind of sit in the middle of this audience, because they want to see.
So, or maybe I put it a little closer.
Yeah, it's more the volume.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, okay, great. So you're working on this piece.
I'm still working on this piece. I just don't make the brush too wet. And what I do simply now is like, you can, and that's it.
And that's it. Like you make it look simple, but that was a bold move. That color on top of that.
I will take it away. It's a little too strong. I
Oh,
don't want to destroy the painting.
okay. I was wondering, I was like, that was a bold move right there.
Yeah, yeah. But this is actually also how I work, you know. I put a layer, I take it back, and I go on like in and out and in and out. So if I put it closer, you see.
Yeah, and that's what builds up all of these beautiful layers where you can like see through from the top to the back, and you can see the history of your mark making and color choices, which is stunning.
Yeah, so this is the example.
Yeah, no, this is great to see because, we see the finished product, but these little steps, they're mysteries to most people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people have been asking, is there a certain ratio, or are you just like one of those chefs that you just know how much to put in when you were doing the egg versus the
Oh, you
special
take
meat?
3 rooms. Like if you have till here the egg, then you take second part the dama and the third part the water.
Okay. It might
So
be
if
gum
you have a
Arabic.
room,
Would
sorry?
it be gum Arabic?
Yes,
Yes, so it's gum Arabic is the medium. Yeah.
yes, this is the one. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then, egg tempera is a very unusual choice because it's such an old medium and
Yeah.
it's very labor intensive. Most artists are just getting their things out of the tube, and you're sourcing pigments from around the world, digging them from your backyard, wherever the pigments are. What made you choose this as part of your practice, and what's the history behind that?
It is actually a part of the process because you can really get a detail feeling for the color. It's drying very fast, so you keep on mixing colors, and it is a pure pigment, so every color is made out of it. And I'm quite fascinated by this detail, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that informs a lot of your decisions because your work is very much about the human connection to
Yeah.
nature, the environment, the experience, and maybe other realms as well. And so, how does your process work? Do you come up with a visual idea, or do you sort of start with a story? Like, what's your process of creating one of these masterpieces?
Actually, I'm quite into getting more and more into the idea of nature, the human nature, but also the nature which is surrounding us and keeping it all together. And I get inspiration actually out of life, of every moment. I also have a little garden where I spend a lot of time in. And this is not so far away from painting. I mean, putting the colors or the trees, the flowers, the concept of building a room. And what inspires me the most is actually the concept of nature and the human inside, but also at the same time the vulnerability. Vulnerability.
Yeah, vulnerability, yes. You're doing wonderfully. Yeah, Miriam speaks fluent Dutch, fluent German, fluent English.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this is a part I think which makes it for me very important. This little part, like it's not all so stable as we think, even a huge nature, even, like the Rocky Mountains. One piece I show now with you is Always the Sun. And it
yeah,
is actually inspired by photos I have seen from Colorado. And it's an older painting, but I went working in again. And so, having this in mind, the snow and the mountains, whatever, I went into the painting again. And the title is Always the Sun. And it
yeah,
is, I think, the biggest painting of all the 3 or 4 I'm showing now with you.
yeah. I'll
And
just
the
walk.
sun, of course, is a whole own subject. Like it's not only about, it's actually the planet. Without the sun, we wouldn't be here. And it is a very old and mystical subject also. And this is also what I'm drawn to, like fairy tales or other stories about humankind, society.
Yeah, very much so. Interesting. And so, where do you even learn to sort of paint with egg tempera? Because I went to art school and I didn't see them like offering this medium. I think your background and your where you went to study and who you studied with might have really influenced that.
Yes, I studied in the east part of Germany after the GGR went down, actually. And so I don't think that in the western part of Germany people would learn it. I don't think so. So this is a very traditional old way of painting. And
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that I got introduced to this. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Isn't that interesting? Just the difference between West and East Germany, and that medium is just found a little home there, and people who kept that tradition and the knowledge alive to be able to pass it on is very local.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, in Leipzig, the new Leipzig School, there are quite some people who are working with it, as I do. But I think
Es ist
in
21:15 Uhr.
other art universities, you don't see it so much anymore.
No,
Because
no.
it takes a lot of time. You keep on mixing colors, it's drying so fast, and there are other modern colors which are just not only modern, you can work much faster with it. But I'm not attracted to acrylic. It's like a plastic, it has nothing organic. And as far as I'm working with organic, the subject of nature, I think it's very logical also to work with a pure pigment.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense. And it really stands out. I get a lot of comments from people on your color and the radiance of it. It is different to oil or acrylic,
Yeah.
and your reasoning makes sense. It's like a whole story, from the concept of what you're painting to the application and choice of material. It's all conceptually tied together as well as visually.
Yeah.
And so we have some other pieces here on display at Artisan Rhapsody. We have Liminal, which is an intriguing piece, and that is it cobalt blue that is we have people admiring it right now. Is that no, please look away. Look at look away. Is that a cobalt? I'm going to walk over here because I've got some curious lookers. Can you see that? Is that square to you?
Yeah, it is all kinds of blue, actually. I wash it down and I go in again, and this is maybe why it is so it's like a burning blue, it's not only one color. There are different layers. I wash them down, and so I put them back again, and so you have a quite complex blue, but you cannot say what kind of, because it's all kind of blues mixed together.
All kind of blues mixed together, yeah. And the layering again, that whole sort of like ghostly quality in that piece, the layers of like, it's both at the same time appearing and disappearing. It's really quite otherworldly, that piece.
Thank you so much.
I was going to ask you about all the different blues. Where do you source these from? Because we all just walk into an art store and it just says cobalt blue or it says Prussian blue. But do you know the locations of where these beautiful blues come from?
I think the best I got in hello. I think one of the best blues I got in the Netherlands. They have really good pigments. I will show you because it's such a beautiful, unbelievable pigment.
Yeah, there's just a light glowing from your pigment table. It's just, I can see this kind of like fluorescence.
If you look here inside, you see this?
Yeah. Yep, it looks quite dark there in the pigment form.
Yeah, or if you go like here, you see this? and then you
Yep.
see this, you think nearly it's the same, but it's not the same. It's just a little different. You see
Right.
this?
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely see it. The one on the right appears to be like maybe a little cooler than the one on the left, but it's hard to tell
Yeah,
from the screen.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So here you have the typical Gummitai. No, I mix it. I mix it. You see, I mix the blue. It's called black, but I mix the new blue here.
Luckily, you know
So
what's going on.
you don't see it in the camera, but these are little shades, just, little shades just moving in the blue, even though it's simply a dark blue, but there's so many shadows in the blue.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting once you put those blues next to each other, like when you see a blue by itself, it's about the relationship to the other colors that suddenly you
Yes.
see, like there are so many blues in here. And I actually, until we spoke about this, I hadn't focused in on that. I'm just like, wow, I really like that. But to understand what is going on and why I like it is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything you particularly wanted to talk about before I open up to the audience to questions? Or is that just too broad of a I'm gonna
No, I'm just very excited. Also, I'm curious about the questions because it's
yeah.
for me the first time to be part in the Artisan Rhapsody. So it's an honor. I'm very thankful to this. So
Oh, well, we're
yeah.
thankful for you to share your expertise with us and bring some beauty here to Colorado from Germany. Who had questions? Was your question answered?
My question was answered. I do have a question. I think it was, we sort of talked about it. The archival quality of the egg tempera. And do you put any sort of final layer on top of it? I mean, how do you sort of preserve that over time?
Yes, actually, you don't have to preserve it. It is the same as oil color. You don't have to protect it. If you go and you look back to the 16th century, everybody was painting with egg tempera or casein, the churches, everything. The painting in the churches now still exists, right? It is made from egg tempera or casein. So you don't have to protect it. You can protect it if you like, but you don't need to. Or if you, for example, want a glamour, a glance on it, not a glance, a
Sheen,
sparkle,
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I like it the way it is, that you don't, it's not shiny or so. It's very fragile in the feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the question might have arisen about, do you need to preserve it? Because with oil paint, we're mixing with mineral oils, but with the eggs are known for going rotten. And so I think that might have begged the question, how does you preserve it?
Yeah.
But my understanding is once it's dry, it doesn't change.
Never. No, no. I mean, it depends also, but this is something every painter has to be aware of, the quality of your color. And it doesn't matter if you work with a pure pigment or if you buy a color, because there are colors out there, which if you expose them for 2 years to the sunlight, maybe they will, fade. But this is a subject on its own. You can buy pigments like this for, I don't know, $500 if you like, or even more. It depends on out of which material it is taken. But this is the beauty about it, you can take very high quality pigments with a little lower and fill it up, and then you have still a very, very beautiful pigment. So it is more about the quality of the pigments, I would say. But this is in every painting. If you take a low oil color and you put it in the sunlight, maybe the painting will fade away over the years.
Yeah, that is a topic of its own, the pigments and their durability and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Did anyone else have a question?
Have you always been drawn to tempera painting? Like, has that always been your medium, or did you experiment with others previous to this?
Did you hear that?
I don't.
Yeah.
no.
So have you just always worked with egg tempera, or have you experimented with other mediums before you landed on egg tempera?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. While I studied, I've worked with every material out there because this was part of my studying, like oil color and acrylic and everything. But when it came to the pigments, I was captured because it felt like this alchemy, all this moving, this process, and you have control actually from the first beginning. And you can move in colors even in your mind, I mean, if you look in this a longer time, it's like quite hypnotic, you get a feeling for the dimension of color itself. And you don't buy it. I mean, you have the pigments and you are free. You can mix all the colors of the world. And this is beautiful. You don't depend on any shop or, like, oh, now I'm out of blue. What can I do? Little spell. So
Yeah, it's like
no,
self-sufficiency on an artist level.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. That's really wonderful. Thank you. Did anyone else have questions?
I wanted to know where you got your inspiration for Always the Sun and how that came to be.
Oh, and you might not have heard that earlier, so let's do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it again. This is a painting I painted 2 years ago, I guess, somehow, and I was not really happy with it. It was a little too dimensional, too simple. The idea, like the sun and the rhythm and the geometrical part meeting nature, is one thing, and it is beautiful and common. But I wanted to create a more private scene. And I was very inspired by the invitation of Larissa of the Artisan Rhapsody and Vail. And I was not there yet, but I see all the time photos of Larissa with a mountain bike or snowing, whatever. So I thought I will put more like a storyline into it. So now I was working over the person, and the mountains are really now grown into it. And of course, always the sun is an old subject. Even the Mayas, were like this was the king, the kingdom, the essence of life. And so I wanted to put it together. And I painted it over with actually Colorado in my mind, only from photos, but it was inspired by it now.
So you created this from like a visual memory, that not working from photographs.
Yes,
Wow, I love
yes.
that. Yeah, I love how your work captures either the essence of place or the essence of humanity without being specific. We can all place ourselves in there or imagine our locale, because there's just such a feeling of essence that you extract out there. I love that you did that from your mind. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought you must have had source material, but maybe my mountain biking photos were source material. Oh, that's wonderful. And it is so interesting. I'll post this later when I post this Zoom, or I'll post it on the YouTube channel for the Art Elevator. I'll put side by side the original piece and then this piece, because one thing a lot of people don't realize is that artists will often paint a piece and just let it sit there, or maybe if they've looked at it for long enough, like, you know what, I finally know what that piece needs. And
Yeah.
it could be weeks later, it could be years later. And I think that's a very interesting piece behind the artist's process that a lot of people don't get to see.
Yes, in fact, I would say if I have to give an overview, every fifth or seventh piece, actually, I paint over like 5 years, 10 years later, if I still have it around. And what it makes, it is like a time capsule. You put like a second skin on a story you have created already. And this is most of the time, it's getting much more complex and more three-dimensional. Like it is not only the one storyline out of the moment. I even painted over a painting which was 20 years ago. So when I go on this story, I'm back in my old, nearly childhood diaries. I mean, not childhood, but you know what I mean. And then
Traveling
I
back
go
through your
into it with my experience also physically, you know, with what I can do now. And this is a very personal moment also, because it is like mirroring yourself from an earlier stage and putting something together, which is making it in a way you never can think of, because you have two timelines and you put it together. But most of the paintings, they are all right, you know, they go and it's all right. But some of them, they need a second or a third.
Yeah, I feel like that's me as a person. Like I think maybe in 10 years I can do my last layer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is so special, Miriam, to hear all of this. Thank you so much for joining us here. I am thrilled by
thank
our
you.
conversation. And I will just close by sweeping back around here. And we will say goodbye and thank you very much. We appreciate you and are so appreciative of the beauty that you bring to the world.
Thank you so much, Larissa, for having me, and also to the audience in Vail for having me there. And I wish you still a beautiful day. Here in Berlin, it's nearly 10 p.m. It's
10 p.m.
dark,
Thank you for
but you
staying.
are in the middle of the day. So
It
thank you.
is, and it is a gorgeous day. I can't take you out to see the golden leaves, but I will send you inspiration material because we are in the
Wow.
peak change of color right now, and it's like there's a light behind the trees
Beautiful.
up there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
for
get
having
some
me.
rest. Okay.
And you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye bye. Bye bye.